Hello and welcome to my channel. Yesterday was Christmas and I cannot wait to show you. I'm gonna talk about what I got for Christmas. I know it looks small, and it is very small, but I'm very excited about it. So this is what Santa put in my stocking. I already opened it and I did a live stream. If you haven't seen that, you can go over to my channel and watch that later. But I'm kind of going to go over the same stuff that I talked about in my live stream. I'm going to talk about where I ordered this, how I put it together, and then together we can fill it with my favorite Daniel Smith paints, and we'll kind of talk about how it compares to my other palettes. So pull up a chair, get comfortable, check this out together. And at the end, I will be swatching the colors that I put in. So stick around if you want to see some freaking satisfying swatching. And also watch me make a giant mess. Spoiler alert. So hang out, try to make it to the end if you can. Some of you VIPs stick these videos out and I appreciate you. Here we go. Okay, here is the Art Toolkit website where I ordered this set. I mean, Santa Claus got me this set. So what I did was I scrolled down. They have kits that are already put together. I went ahead and assembled my own. So it's here where it says Explore Palettes and Pans. And then I ordered the Empty Pocket Palette in silver. And then I went down here and added my own pans. So I went ahead and ordered 20 of the mini pans, and they're so affordable. $5 for 10. And then I ordered 2 packs of the 8 standard pans, which gives me 16. And I have 14 that fit in the pocket palette. So Leslie's video, here's Leslie. Stroz, I want to say. This lovely video is what helped me make my final decision on getting an Art Toolkit palette. So she talks in depth about all the different palettes that she's had for travel. The Art Toolkit
This is not
is the one that won for her. And so after watching this video, I made my decision, and I also am really grateful because she has her own code, Leslie5, that you can use at checkout, and you actually get a small discount. It's very cool, and she gets a small commission too. So if you decide to buy this palette, please make sure to use her code, Leslie5, LESLIE 5 at checkout, and you will save some moolah. Okay, so here's the box it came in, just a small little thing. And like I said, I already opened it. I've already played around with it, so forgive me on that count. But it comes with a card that says thank you, a little handwritten note. That's very sweet. And then this is the palette itself. And it does come with this bag, this little linen drawstring bag. Comes like that, which is really cool. And then it has this little card that kind of tells you how to use it. It says condition the magnet with a light coat of vegetable oil, which I did. And I guess that makes it so it's a little bit easier to clean when it comes time to clean it. So yeah, so there's that. And you got to go check out their Instagram. They have a lot of great content on their Instagram and like ideas for setting up the palettes. So like I told you, I ordered 2 packs of the 8 regular pans and 2 packs of the 10 set of the mini pans. Okay, so here's the mini pans. They're so tiny. They're so much tinier than I even thought. Look how tiny that is, you guys. It's so little. I love it. So I can fit, how many of those? I can fit like 28, I want to say in here. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, but I decided that I kind of want to stick with just these 14 colors. So 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, so 14 colors. And I agonized, you guys. I agonized last night. I sat on my couch and went through my other palette and decided what colors were like almost gone. What colors I was using the most. Colors I can't really live without for my traveling and my urban sketching. So here's kind of the madness that I went through. None of this is in order. It's madness. But yeah, so this is kind of my process of trying to figure out what I can eliminate. And because, like, for example, I love Shadow Violet. So Shadow Violet by Daniel Smith is kind of like this purpley gray. And I also like Payne's Gray. And I just discovered a new color by Daniel Smith. It's called, where are you? Joseph Z's Cool Gray. This is fabulous. And if I mix just a little bit of Quinacridone Red, which is kind of a magenta, with this, it basically turns into Shadow Violet. As you can see, I was able to kind of play around mixing, and I was able to get something similar. So I was able to eliminate quite a few colors. And I will admit there are a couple colors here that I'm obsessed with by Schmincke. And these are their super granulation, Forest Gray and Forest Blue. The Forest Blue, I thought, was similar to Daniel Smith's Lunar Blue. But after swatching it here, so there's the Forest Blue by Schmincke, and there is the Lunar Blue. They're very different. So the Forest Blue, they both have PBK 11, which is Mars Black / Lunar Black. But this one has a Phthalo Blue. And this one has like a chromium cobalt something or other. It's PG 36. I'm not super familiar with Schmincke. It's not a brand that I use a lot. But these two colors I did try and love. And I've been using them in my sketchbook. But I kind of want to stick to Daniel Smith at this point. I am an ambassador for Daniel Smith. And I just absolutely love the brand. And I really want to represent that. And so I decided to just make my own versions. This one I nailed it. So this is the Schmincke Forest Gray. This is what I was able to come up with. So I mixed the Joseph Z's Cool Gray, which is what I'm going to already have in my palette, transparent brown, oxide, and cobalt teal. And I was able to achieve it. I know it looks like a moldy cheesecake, but it's such a great color. It's so fantastic. Look at that. I mean, come on, guys. It's beautiful. And so I was kind of getting this over here, and I decided to switch it up just a little bit. So the original Forest Gray by Schmincke, let's see. Guys, this is madness, I'm telling you. Let me find. So I have this book where I try mixes out. This is my recipe book. Okay, here it is. Schmincke Forest Gray is PBK 11, so Mars Black / Lunar Black. And then it has kind of a cobalt turquoise in it and a PBR 7, like a raw umber. Let's see, PBR 7, PG 50, which is Cobalt Teal Blue. Yeah, so anyway, after doing my research, I figured out that I can make my own with a combination of a brown, a cobalt turquoise or cobalt teal, and lunar black. So I'm going to mix my own and put it in here. So I've got it here. Look at that. I love the way it separates. And I've got my 3 colors. So we're going to go with cobalt turquoise, lunar black, and enviro-friendly brown iron oxide. Those will be our mix. And then for this one, for the lunar or the forest blue, this one was really tricky to figure out. As you can see, look at this. I couldn't even get close. Madness. But I think I might have it figured out. So you look here, you can't even really tell which one is the Schmincke and which one's the Daniel Smith. So I'm going to tell you, this is the Schmincke Forest Blue. And these two are both Daniel Smith. So what I ended up with was, I'm trying to remember now, Cobalt Turquoise by Daniel Smith, Lunar Black, and a little bit of black Tourmaline Genuine because it leans warmer. As you can see, this one has like a warmth to it. And the Mars Black by Schmincke is like, it leans a little warmer. It has a warmer undertone than Lunar Black does. So I decided to add the black Tourmaline Genuine and just a tiny, tiny touch of Lamp Black, which has a warmth to it. And I was able to achieve this fabulous color. So I'm going to mix my own. They're going in my palette. So there's that, you guys. I'm so excited about that. I always love it when I can make up my own mixtures. So let me grab those tubes. Black tourmaline. Black. And here's what's really funny. I will be using these two for both of these mixtures. The only difference really is that this one has brown in it and this one doesn't, if that makes sense. So here we have those. And I've heard people say this is kind of a messy process, so I'm prepared for a mess. I'm gonna grab a palette knife for mixing things up. Okay, here are the colors as they are going to go in the palette. So first we've got Nickel Azo Yellow, which, oh my gosh, is, here, I'll show you. So Nickel Azo Yellow is my go-to yellow. It's clear, it's so transparent, so vibrant, and it's a great mixer. It's just fantastic. And then the next one is kind of a newer color to me, which is Aureolin Cobalt Yellow. I've been playing with this in my sketchbook for a while, and I love the way it looks. So here's that right here. Look at that beautiful clear yellow. Beautiful. The next one is going to be Mars Yellow. Now this is my yellow ochre. So this is my answer for yellow ochre. I love this color. I've been using it a lot for like golden retrievers. I usually use transparent yellow oxide, but I'm kind of digging the Mars Yellow right now. So there's that. And then the next color we have is Quinacridone Deep Gold, which is, oh, it's this one right here. Quinacridone Deep Gold is so beautiful because you can wash it out or do it thicker. And it's almost like, it's very close to Quinacridone Sienna, but a little bit more on the yellow side. So we'll put that in there. And I've decided I'm not going to separate my earth tones like I usually do. I'm going to mix them in. So the top row will be warm colors. The bottom row will be my cool colors. So the next one, following the Quinacridone Sienna, will be, or not Quinacridone Sienna, sorry, Deep Gold, will be Quinacridone Red, which is a magenta. It's very magenta. Here it is right here. It's on my dot card as well. You might ask why I don't have my dot card colors in my travel palette, but the thing is like I'm not painting animals really in my sketchbook. My sketchbook is, you know, urban sketching and when I'm out and about or when I just watching TV with my family. Okay, so for my warm colors, what we have left is my answer for burnt sienna and burnt umber, transparent red oxide, transparent brown oxide. So those will go in the palette. Isn't that beautiful? Look at how pretty these colors look lined up. And then for our bottom row, for our cooler tones, we will start with green gold, which is a fabulous color. Green gold, followed by Cascade Green. And I was almost about to put Prussian Green in there, but like I said, I really had to narrow this down. So we've got Green Gold, Cascade Green, and then, okay, so I'm going to put my answer for the Forest Gray. Like I said, I showed it to you a moment ago. I'm not using the Schminke. I'm using my own concoction that I've mixed up here. So we'll mix that in a moment. And then next, we're going to have our Forest Blue, which I also have mixed up here. We're making our own mixtures today. So these will be convenience mixes that I'm making. All right, following that, we're going to do classic. I can't live without Cobalt Teal. I just can't. Mix that with Manganese Blue Hue. Heaven on earth. Look at these. Look at that. So I love this for skies, for water. There's just something beautiful about that mixture. My classic blue will be Verditer, I don't know how to say it. This one is an interesting color. It is made of cobalt and cerulean. I do believe it has white in it as well. I really, really dig this color. Let me show it to you as a swatch. So right there, it really does look very cobalty. And it's very versatile. So that's a newer one I've been playing with for the last 6 months, I want to say. And I really like it. And our final color, so 3, 4, 6, 7. I messed up. Hold on one second. Let me think here. I messed up on camera. I think what we'll do is, I think we're going to have to let go of Manganese Blue Hue. And I did mix the, let's play with this for a second before we make any decisions. I've got some paper here. I just want to play with this idea to make sure I can mix what I need. So Manganese Blue Hue is, here's that. So pretty, right? And then we've got our Verditer. I'm just going to say Verditer. It's really hard because I want a blue that's going to be great for mixing. But if I'm being honest, I don't mix a lot. I'll mix like a purple. That's about it. I'm not worried about mixing green because I've got my 2 greens that I love. So really all I need to worry about is, would these mix well with my Quin Red to make a purple? And then I've got this Cobalt Teal. Like I said, can't live without it, but I can possibly make it by mixing this with yellow. We'll see. Okay, so there's our 3 blues. I've got to eliminate one of these. I want to fade these out so you can see what they look like. This one. So that Manganese Blue Hue is just so beautiful for skies and stuff. Okay, so there's our 3 blues. And shall we see what we can get mixing? Let's mix these 2 together. If we can make the Manganese Blue by mixing these 2, then I'll just put those 2 in. Pretty much. I mean, it's very similar. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Why is it so agonizing to fill a palette? I mean, I could, if I really wanted to, I could trade out one of these bigger pans for 2 smaller pans. But I like the way this looks. It just feels cohesive and nice. And I know I'm going to be using a lot of whatever blue I get. So decisions have to be made. And then I've got Nickel Azo Yellow here, which always looks disgusting in mass tone. But it's a very clear yellow. That was too much. I'd say that was too much. Okay, we're trying to get Cobalt Teal. What do you think? What do you think? We getting it? Yeah, I think we're good. So let's do that. I know I said I can't live without Cobalt Teal, but Guys, I've got to change my ways sometimes and try new things. So, okay, bye-bye, Cobalt Teal. Very sad day. We are going with Manganese Blue Hue, Hugh Jackman, and Verditer. And then our final color is Joseph Z's Cool Gray. And guys, I can't wait to show you this color. So we're going to swatch everything out at the end. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to grab some paper and we'll make a little swatch card that can fit in the lid. We'll do that later. I like to be strategic when I fill a palette because I like my warm colors to either be on one side and my cool colors to be on the other, or half and half. And I think we're going to go with half and half. So the top half will be warm and the bottom half will be cool. So here we go. First color going in, Nickel Azo Yellow. Now, I've watched people fill these palettes on YouTube and on Instagram, and I kind of feel like I don't really want to smooth it out in a way. I kind of want to like fill half the pen and then leave the other half for like my brush. So I'm not going to do that thing, which will help it not be as messy. So there's that. It looks so gross. That color always looks so nasty, doesn't it? Guys, remember to put your lids on. Very important. Okay, next color is Aureolin Cobalt Yellow. That's Mars Yellow. That's my answer for Yellow Ochre. I didn't think this was going to be satisfying, but I was wrong. That's a thick paint. Isn't it interesting how some of these are really like runny and others are really thick? I'm not filling these all the way because I watched I think it was actually on Art Toolkit's own channel or their Instagram. They talked about not filling, like there was an artist who didn't fill the pans all the way and spread it around with a toothpick. Just left it like this, dots of paint. And I love that idea. And I think some of one of those brown colors leaked into my yellow ochre. So let's do that. Okay, so I've got my kind of like my warm colors on top. And then I'm going to add my cool colors now. So let's start with, I probably should have started with the bottom row. Because it's kind of, these pens, so if you notice, they kind of tuck in. So I don't like them tucked down in like that. I made sure mine were up. I might grab like something I could tuck down in there, maybe a piece of sponge or something so that my pans don't slide down under the lip. I think this idea was derived from, you know, like those metal business card holders made out of aluminum. And I actually was going to order one and just make my own. And then I was like, what am I doing? Just order the dang thing. I spend a lot of time trying to do it yourself. And right now, my time is money. I can't sit and mess around anymore. So it's time for me to just buy the thing. So here we go. And not everybody can. I get that. I really wasn't buying many art supplies until I made it into my job. And then I was able to start buying more. Investing. Okay, I gotta smooth this out. This looks like the Grinch. I love green gold, guys. I have the core green gold, but it's more yellow. It's like a pickle juice color. And Daniel Smith has their version of that. It's called Rich Green Gold. Did have to smooth that one out. I don't want any of these. I'm concerned about, like, I know they'll shrink as they dry down. Next, Cascade Green. And guarantee you, if you ask me, if you're like new to Daniel Smith and you ask me what colors you should start with, I'm going to say Cascade Green. Once I get it in the little palette. So let's go ahead and scoop some into the palette. This is going to be tricky, hopefully not too messy. I'm just going to set that there. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. I got to mix it one last time because I did add a tiny bit more green a minute ago. Turquoise, I mean. So, here we go. It's pretty runny. Such a cool color, though. All right. Now, can I put this in here without making a mess? That's the question. These are so tiny. No, I'm going to lift that up so it's not tilted. Because when you put the lid down, you can see it tilts the palette. And I want those to dry flat. Okay, our next mixture. I'm kind of dreading this after the situation I just found myself in. But it's okay. If I've done it once, I can do it again. Okay, so now we're going to make our forest blue version, our Daniel Smith version. We've got, again, cobalt turquoise. And this got a hair in it. Let's get the hair out of there. All right, we've got cobalt turquoise again. And lunar black again. But this time, we're adding black tourmaline genuine. That might have been too much black. Dang it. Good thing I have 2 tubes of cobalt turquoise, huh? And then a little bit of lamp black. And I can tell right now it's already too dark. A little bit less. Okay. Let's add our cobalt turquoise. I just need some paper to test it on. Yeah, that's really, really dark. No, it looks good, actually. It actually looks really good. Slightly darker. Oh, that sound. I literally just got chills. That's pretty. The reason that I am not a fan of lunar blue is it's doesn't have a green enough tint to it for me. It is a beautiful color. It's in the Jean Haines set, like I mentioned before. But I wanted it a little warmer, like a little green, or a little greener. Okay. And the rest of the colors are easy because they are the OG colors. I don't need to do anything special to. Although I do need to add that paint to a little pot real quick. Didn't quite make as much of this color, thank goodness. So next we have Manganese Blue Hue, and look at this sad little guy. We're going to try to get the rest of this out. I'm pretty sure I've already squeezed the most out with my squeezy thingy. Nope, it's not going to squeeze anymore. Look, we're at the top. Nothing. So when you reach that point, you can actually just fold this over one way or another. And we're going to get the most out that we possibly can without making a total mess. So I folded the top back straight like it was. Oh gosh. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay. And now I can use my palette knife. This is my smallest palette knife to do surgery. This is messy. Oh boy. This is sharp, so be careful. Like, these metal tubes are freaking sharp. But if you play your cards right, you can get quite a lot of paint out of it. Such a great color. And honestly, there's still paint in there. Look at that. Could keep going for days. Okay. All right, I had to upgrade my tube graveyard. I call this the graveyard. This is where tubes go to die. I don't know why I keep them. It's almost like trophies to me. I always pop that lid back on. In it goes. And then I always remove my little clip. Bye-bye. Clip can go on the new tube. There you have it. Bump. All right, next we have a Verditer. How do you say it? Verditer or Verditer? I've actually been made fun of before for this, for saying it Verditer. By an Italian, no less. You know who you are. Oh, it's gonna gush out now. What have I done? This was not my best move. Look at that. It's so pretty. This is such a great palette. I love it already. It just looks like a work of art. So now, if it's coming out the top, you can squeeze the sides and suck the paint back down in. Just a little tip for you. And then, if you get paint in the lid like this, it is a good idea to clean it out. Otherwise, it becomes a mess, and it also is a waste of paint. So, you can actually... I love this tiny palette knife. It's so great. Let me think how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to just try putting it back in the tube because I've got space now that I sucked it back in. So we suck it back in. Now I can put it back. Ha! Look at that. I'm a genius, baby. All right, last color. We got our Joseph Z's Cool Gray, and it is super cool. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze it first, and then I'm going to crimp the tube. Let's see here. Because if you crimp the tube first, it does that. But I didn't. I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault. Okay, here we go. I wonder how much these equate to. Like, does it equate to a quarter pan, half pan? I don't think it's quite a half pan. That wouldn't make sense. And as someone who's filled about 1 billion half pans in their life, oh gosh, I'm just thinking it doesn't feel even close to a half pan. I would say a quarter. If you know, please tell me. I'm just moving them up because, like I said, I don't like it when they tuck down in under this lip. It bugs me. So some of the cheap ones you buy, like AliExpress actually sells these. Temu, different knockoff brands have made their own version. And those ones actually have like quite a big lip that covers. So yeah, I really think I need more nickel azo. What do you think? I'm gonna go ahead and fill these. I just feel like within a couple of sessions, I'm gonna run out of paint. Oh gosh, here we go. Messy time. Okay. We've got it full. We've got it mostly full. And I like, guys, it's a mess. It's a messy. It's just, that's how it is. My desk looks like a bomb went off. And it's fine. It's all good. Let me get some caps back on, some stuff. Okay, I got to show you something. That color, that desert gray or whatever, forest gray, look how it's separated. The brown came to the top. That's crazy. That's what I love about it. Also, did the same thing on my swatches. That's why I love this color. The pigments settle differently. These are just my test runs. Oh, what a great color. I will make sure to list those colors in the description so that if you want to make your own, you'll have the recipe. Yeah, I was thinking if I'm only filling these halfway, what's the actual point of using the big pans to begin with if I'm not going to fill these babies all the way up? So I'm going to fill them up. I can change my mind. It's my prerogative. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Oh gosh. Honestly, I know I'm going to love this palette, but this is the messiest palette fill I've ever done in my entire life. Because this is leaking onto this. Oh my. Tell me in the comments if you have this palette. Does it get bad? Does it get messy? Do the colors try to hang out with each other? Quin Deep Gold. Such a weird color in the pan. It looks so much darker. Oh, look at my hands. Oh my gosh. I'm not really a messy artist per se. I just want to squeeze this up. If you do this before opening it, just don't go too far. Because it will splurge out. Splurge? It will spill out. Looks like I need to start adding some more colors to my list of paints I'm running low on. The nice thing about this palette is the colors dry really quickly because it's such a thin layer. One other thing about Leslie is that she also talked a lot about the transparent red oxide being one of her favorites. So we actually had a lot of colors in common. She doesn't like Payne's Gray, I get it, because the Daniel Smith Payne's Gray is very blue. And she said she prefers Sodalite Genuine, which both of those are on my dot card. But it's okay, to each his own. And I am, like I said, I'm doing the Joseph Z's Cool Gray instead of Payne's Gray now. You guys have to try this color. Just a quick side note, Joseph Z's Cool Gray is cerulean blue, chromium, quinacridone rose / violet, not sure which one, and lamp black, whereas Payne's Gray is ultramarine and ivory black. Another person I was inspired, that really inspired me to look into this palette is Captain Tom on Instagram. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name, but he's an urban sketcher, and he uses the, I think he might actually be an ambassador, I'm not sure, but he uses the Art Toolkit. I told myself that when I filled this, it wasn't going to be, I was going to be different than everybody else, and it wasn't going to be as messy, and I'm eating my words. I want my mommy. Oh my heck, you guys. May I recommend not doing what I just did? They're so tiny that it's hard for me to handle them. Oh my gosh. What I was trying to do is not waste paint, but then I ended up wasting paint. So, pointless. Pointless. Okay, well, we do our best, don't we? They're so little. I'll be honest, this didn't look as small to me when, oh my gosh. When I looked at it online, it just didn't look so tiny. Even the pans didn't look this tiny. And then you get it and you hold it in your hand and you're like, whoa, it's so little. And that's the idea, right? You want something small. Oh my gosh, I'm getting mustard everywhere. That's what it looks like. Mustard. Okay, it cleans really easily. That's nice. Oh, good gosh. Ah! You guys. Oh my frickin' crap. I'm about to swear, y'all. Oh my gosh. So somebody said that this little sticker does stain pretty bad, and you can use a magic eraser. So I will have to get myself a magic eraser. If I do this again, like when I get my other palette that I ordered, I'm filling these and letting them dry before I even get them near the palette. Because this is just becoming a nightmare. So may I recommend filling your little pans outside of the palette, letting them cure or dry before trying to, just don't do what I'm doing. This is ridiculous. Apparently I'm hungry. I don't think I've ever wasted this much paint in the creation of a palette. Nothing against Art Toolkit. This is all me. This is all me thinking I'm better than other people and trying to be different. rather than taking other people's advice who've done this. So I'm humbled. I'm eating my humble pie right now. All right, I'm stressed out. It's time for pie. Sometimes you just have to stop and eat pie. My husband made this, including the whipped cream. All right, it's filled. I'm so happy that's over with. And I keep getting contamination, so I need to just leave it alone. Anyway, so like I said before, this is the card that came with it, and it fits perfectly in the lid. So I figured I would make a little swatch card. So what I'm going to do is the top row will be on one side and the bottom row will be on another. I've divided it into 7 sections, and let's get swatching. I'm going to be using this Sarah Burns Studio 1/4 inch, I don't know what this is called, brush. I know it's a brush. I'm just saying. I didn't. Anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and do these in rows. So let's start with Nickel Azo Yellow. And like I said, that color packs a punch. You do not need much of it at all. And the color's beautiful. And the next one, Aureolin. And this one's one of the colors that has like a more of a gummy feel to it, if you know what I mean. Ah, it's beautiful. It's a beaut. And can you see the difference between the two? They're very similar, yet not. So you'll see when they're dry. And here is that Mars yellow, which is our yellow ochre. And for the bottom row, I'm just kind of drawing it out with water. There's an art to swatching, if you ask me. Okay, next is Quinacridone Deep Gold. And while I'm doing this, I'm kind of using this as an opportunity to smooth down the paint. I should have taped this down, but that's okay. I know on camera it looks like Quinacridone Sienna, but it has a little bit more of an earthiness to it. And it glows. Look at that. Beautiful. Next is Quinacridone Red, which is my answer for a primary magenta, because I don't use red. The only red I will use for, in watercolor is I'll use magenta, and then I like to use deep scarlet. It's like a really deep, earthy blood red that I just really enjoy. But I like to have Quinacridone Red. It is so stunning. And you can add some yellow to it and it turns like really red. Like your classic fire engine red. All right. Next is Transparent Red Oxide, which is my answer for burnt sienna. Man, that color packs a punch, doesn't it? Okay, and our final color on the top row is brown, transparent brown oxide. And using the gray that I have in my palette, I can turn this into a really deep, dark, like Van Dyke brown. Okay. Now we will let this dry and come back and flip it over and do the backside. Okay, it's totally dry, and there's our top row colors. These two yellows kind of feel redundant. I'm almost wishing I would have done the Bismuth Vanadate yellow, but I digress. They both have their uses. Okay, let's go ahead and flip it over like this and begin with our bottom row, starting with green gold. Next, we have Cascade Green.